We're hooked up over there. I believe it is.
And you can take it off. Yes. So it's not wrapped. Oh, okay. There you go. Yes.
Okay.
How's this?
We're live. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 11 a.m. Fireside Chat on this wonderful Wednesday, August the 11th, 2021. Thank you for joining me, Vickie Meeks-Miller, your Community Engagement Manager, and I have two very special guests joining me from the Richfield Stars Astronomy Group, who will be providing us with wonderful information as this is a very active season meteorologically. Look at that, I got that word out. So joining me today is Miss Margaret Riggs, as well as Mr. Allan Leffler. And we have distinguished guests here joining us, so thank you all so much for being here as well. So we're going to have a little Q&A, a little question and answer session that will enlighten a lot of us on some of the things that that our esteemed guests are already abreast of, and they'll bring us up to speed as well. And I'll start with you, Margaret, in that I understand that August is a particularly busy and active time for sky watching and lots going on. I've been hearing lots on the news.
That's certainly correct. Beside the Perseid meteor shower, which actually begins tonight, there's also chances to view Jupiter and Saturn up close and personal. We have telescopes, and we will be getting information about that to you later. Vickie has graciously consented to put it on Well Nested and to make an announcement beforehand, since this is the only time we'll be here this month. In any case, I'm looking forward to that. It's always thrilling to me to see the rings of Saturn.
Wonderful.
The crescent moon is low in the sky tonight. This is another event that you can catch up on that is, to me, it was just beautiful. The crescent moon sets in the west not too long after sunset, and Venus is right below it.
Now, you mentioned that you were able to witness that beautiful sight on last night.
I did. I saw it by accident. I happened to be out, and, well, when I'm out, I look up. That's just my thing.
Of course.
And I called my neighbor. I texted my neighbor. I said, "Get out on your front porch. I'll be there in a minute." And went tearing around, and we almost missed it by the time we got there. Both of them had almost disappeared.
Wow.
But it will be available to watch again tonight for any of you willing to go out and look.
Awesome, awesome. And as Margaret mentioned, I will be posting this information as an event on Well Nested for this week's events with the meteor showers and such. And if anyone would like to register, we can try to make arrangements to have the Shenandoah Room open, which is the very top floor of Knollwood Independent Living Building, which offers some of the most beautiful views in Salem already. So you might have a bird's eye view of some of these wonderful events. So I will be posting that shortly after the broadcast. And if interested, please register to attend and go up to see the events, and we'll have the specific times and so forth that will be optimal. I think some of them are in the wee hours. However, we will see how that can be worked out, because it sounds like something to behold. And there are some other events coming up for this month. And before we get into the Q&A, Margaret has a resource for all of us in which is available in the Roanoke Times newspaper each month. I believe it may be around the first Sunday of each month. And if you'll tell us about what you have right there and how it is a beneficial piece of information.
It's called Roanoke Skies in, obviously, the Roanoke Times, and it comes out somewhere around the first of the month. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, that's where I get a whole lot of my information that I have just relayed to you about positions of stars and planets, meteor showers, and anything else of interest that's going on.
And so what do we have in store for later this month from your resources?
Viewing Jupiter and Saturn. And that can both be done at the same time.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be two separate events because they're both visible in the sky. And they're pretty easy to identify around the 20th and 21st of the month because they'll be close to the moon. So it's always good to have a reference point when you're trying to find small things in the sky.
Right, right. Well, and we will be providing this information on Well Nested so that you'll have these dates and be reminded that those are the times to get out and see some exciting action in the sky. So that information is wonderful, huh? It provides you with those kinds of dates, information and dates of things to look out for.
Yes, and anybody, of course, can find the same information, the same place. It's not a secret.
Awesome.
And of course, we're not announcing anything right now because a lot depends on the weather. If it's cloudy, obviously, we're not going to be looking up at anything. So that's why we'll let you know specifically later on.
Right. As is any other good activity, the weather will determine how much we can enjoy it. So, yes, as Margaret mentioned, I will be posting that information on Well Nested, and so that we can see how we can proceed based on the weather forecast. Now, Mr. Allan Leffler is joining us today as well, who has not only contributed a lot to the group, but has become quite a student in studying up on some things. And in so doing, he has some questions for Margaret, as we all are learning about meteors and comets, and I think, and all of those good things that really are all around us. And it is a pleasure to be enlightened. So, Mr. Leffler, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank Margaret for being a good teacher.
Indeed.
And I wanted to ask Margaret, I understand that meteor showers will occur this month.
Yes, the Perseid meteor shower is always a highlight of the summer season. Always occurs right about this time, somewhere 11th, 12th, 13th, every August.
Can you see with your naked eyes the meteor showers, and when can we see these meteor showers?
Okay, yes, naked eye is better. You don't want to use binoculars or telescopes with a meteor shower because the little Dickenses are moving too fast. They go right straight across the sky if you're lucky. The best time to observe them is sometime after midnight, before dawn.
Margaret, how did the Perseids get their names?
Their point of origin appears to be coming out of the constellation Perseus. It's just like if you look at a picture of railroad tracks, a straight line railroad track, at some point the lines seem to converge. They form like a V shape. Meteor showers are like that. They tend to seem like they're converging from Perseus.
Oh, okay.
Margaret, is there a difference between a meteor and a comet?
Yes, definite difference, although they are related to each other. Comets are celestial bodies that are in orbit around the sun. They're basically part of the solar system, except that the planets and moons around the sun orbit in a circular path called the plane of the ecliptic, whereby comets are parabolic, elliptical, hyperbolic. They sort of do their own thing. Mm-hmm. But they do come around the sun and go back out where they came from, wherever that might be. Some of them have periods of 200 years, which means that's once around the sun.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where the comets come from?
Supposedly, and I'm not an expert on this part of it, but there are two regions outside of the solar system, out past the orbits of the outer planets, called the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. The Oort cloud is basically a collection of rocks. It's just debris circling around the solar system. Kuiper Belt, of course, is closer, and most comets are thought to have formed inside the Oort cloud.
What causes the display of the meteor showers?
Oh, the beautiful trails and sparks and everything. When a comet gets close to the sun, let me back up 1 minute. A comet is basically described as a dirty snowball. Its head or nucleus is made up of a mass of rocks held together with frozen gases and ice. When it gets close to the sun, of course, those gases and ice start melting, and they turn loose of whatever rocks that are holding them together, and they're spread out behind them. Now, when the Earth passes through one of those trails that the comet has left behind, those meteors are grabbed up in the Earth's atmosphere. They're attracted by the gravity of the Earth, pulled toward the Earth. They're traveling some 44 miles per second, so they're moving right fast. Mm-hmm. And as they burn up, they emit the light. They literally burn. And then what trails out behind them is the burning debris that they are giving off. Not very many of these reach the Earth. Most of them they're gone before they get anywhere near the Earth.
Margaret, will these meteor showers reoccur in the future?
Absolutely. There are all sorts of meteor showers all year. There's another one in December. There's another one in March. I don't keep up with the dates and specifics of them. I read about them to remind myself. I remember one of them is called the Orionid, because obviously it seems to come from the constellation Orion.
Well, Margaret, this covers about all the questions I have, and of course I look forward to learning more from you too. So thank you very much for this information.
You're very welcome. Anybody listening out there, if you want to learn more, the meeting is at noon in Roost 52, and we have a DVD showing of comets and meteors that explains probably a bit better than I have.
I don't know about that. You've been pretty concise and putting it into terms that even I can understand. So you've done a wonderful job there. And keep in mind that on every second Wednesday of the month, we have this update of the Richfield Stars Astronomy Group, who will be providing information such as this and other things that will be covered each month on the broadcast. And then shortly thereafter, the group meets in the Roost 52, as Margaret mentioned, at 12 noon. So grab your lunch and come on up and get some more information, and then you can also provide other questions that can be researched, and those answers can be provided in the future. But once again, you know, these things are happening all around us, and it's just brilliance, you know, beautiful things that are happening around us, and we are so appreciative to have this group to bring them to our attention, bring them to the forefront, and, you know, all you have to do is look up just to be able to enjoy these awesome displays that we are, you know, are able to witness. And just to recap, so this week's meteor shower, they will start tonight and go through, is it Thursday or Friday?
All right, the peak will be on Thursday night.
Okay.
Something I came up with had it wrong. They were saying it was tonight. But that's the peak. You can always see the meteors before and after. It goes over a 3-day period. It's a bit inconvenient that the best time to see them is in the middle of the morning, early. I couldn't help myself. I went out this morning somewhere around 4 o'clock, just in case, and saw one. So it was worth the effort.
Yes, you saw. So you did see.
I saw one.
One meteor pass by. I bet that was exciting because you probably weren't expecting to see that.
I wasn't expecting much.
Wow. And Margaret, she has a picture that she brought to share with the group in the meeting. It wouldn't have shown up well here, but could you tell us a little bit about what that picture displays?
Yes, it's. I call it. It came from outer space. It's a overhead picture of the meteor crater in Arizona. Some 10,000 years ago, a meteor quite large crashed in Arizona and left this big hole in the ground. And it's, of course, Arizona now is a desert. My husband and I walked around the rim where they had rest stations, water set up, for about half a mile. And the interesting part about the meteor crater is that before the astronauts went to the moon, they used the crater to practice with their jet packs, where they could jump off and then hover or change directions or whatever. But that was interesting.
I'll bet, because in looking at the photograph, it indicated that it's at least a mile across.
Oh yeah,
but
way more than that.
more than that, because you showed me one point was a half mile. So you know, that those types of awesome occurrences are what we are witnessing today, you know, or we could witness. I mean, and thankfully and hopefully we won't have anything quite that spectacular to happen. But, you know, with astronomy, history is always in the making. You know, you never know just what will occur in one of these events. And so, again, we just appreciate having the expertise of Margaret and Allan and the other club members to, you know, bring that to the forefront, because we may witness something quite historic, but we're certainly, if the weather cooperates, we'll witness something quite brilliant and beautiful. So look for the information on Well Nested, and as these important dates come up, we'll feature them in other ways as well, such as the dance card. And please keep in mind that you are welcome to join us every second Wednesday of the month right here in the chapel to enjoy this broadcast and the information that's provided. And once again, be sure to join us at 12 noon right next door at the Roost. I tell you, I have learned so much that these two have inspired my quote from the Jar of Awesomeness, which I have, is one that we've heard, but I have changed it around a little bit to really express how I feel. And the quote is, "If I keep hanging out with the stars, I may become one." That is certainly my hope, and I tell you that can be the case for you as well. Come and hang out with these guys and learn some really interesting facts and information, and you know, continue to broaden your willpower, your intellectual wellness and social wellness, and you know, just really just expanding our horizons in every way we can. That is what Richfield Living is all about. I thank each and every one of you all for joining us today. I certainly thank Margaret and Allan for joining us and providing us with such a great wealth of information, and you know, and also providing us information about the wonderful opportunities to come.
Thank you, Vickie, for having us.
It's
Yes.
my pleasure. My
Thank you.
pleasure indeed. And we look forward to seeing everyone in the Roost 52 at 12 noon. So don't delay. We'll see you shortly. Thank you all and have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye-bye.